Hello again everyone, and welcome back for another Taoism Explained video. We are up to the 30th chapter, and this one has been called A Caveat Against War, Be Chary of War, and Be Stingy of War. We'll read 3 different translations and then talk a little bit about them, as always, at the end. Getting right into it, our first translation goes like this. He who would assist a lord of men in harmony with the Tao will not assert his mastery in the kingdom by force of arms. Such a course is sure to meet with its proper return. Wherever a host is stationed, briars and thorns spring up. In the sequence of great armies there are sure to be bad years. A skillful commander strikes a decisive blow and stops. He does not dare, by continuing his operations, to assert and complete his mastery. He will strike the blow, but will be on his guard against being vain or boastful or arrogant in consequence of it. He strikes it as a matter of necessity. He strikes it, but not from a wish for mastery. When things have attained their strong maturity, they become old. This may be said to be not in accordance with the Tao, and what is not in accordance with it soon comes to an end. A second translation reads, He who with reason assists the master of mankind will not with arms strengthen the empire. His methods invite requital. Where armies are quartered, briars and thorns grow. Great wars unfailingly are followed by famines. A good man acts resolutely and then stops. He ventures not to take by force. Be resolute, but not boastful. Resolute, but not haughty. Resolute, but not arrogant. Resolute because you cannot avoid it. Resolute, but not violent. Things thrive and then grow old. This is called unreason. Unreason soon ceases. And our final translation. When the magistrate follows Tao, he has no need to resort to force of arms to strengthen the empire, because his business methods alone will show good returns. Briars and thorns grow rank where an army camps. Bad harvests are the sequence of a great war. The good ruler will be resolute and then stop. He dare not take by force. One should be resolute but not boastful, resolute but not haughty, resolute but not arrogant, resolute but yielding when it cannot be avoided, resolute but he must not resort to violence. By a resort to force, things flourish for a time but then decay. This is not like the Tao, and that which is not Tao-like will soon cease. So, the basic idea here is that nobody likes war. Well, almost nobody. As long as you're a normal person not profiting from it, that is. We're told that a leader who follows the Tao doesn't have to resort to violence to enrich or to strengthen their country. Bloodstained spoils will always be bloodstained spoils. When a country faces conflict, although it may prosper in some sense in the short term, it always leads to years of famine and reconstruction, whether in a physical sense, a psychological sense, or a cultural sense. So, avoiding it altogether is the best course of action when at all possible. And this applies in our lives as well, of course. This is not to say that we ought to ignore all of our problems, but rather that we ought to choose the ones which we act upon more wisely, for the cleanup afterwards may not always be worth the trouble. And to go a little bit further on that tangent, reaching a resolution as quickly as possible in the most laser-focused way should be the goal. In a personal sense, this might come down to ensuring that your argument is fully thought out and articulated skillfully, rather than living in a constant state of struggle, of having arguments about small things over and over again. It would be a better course, perhaps, to collect your thoughts and express them more fully. On a larger scale, this may mean to strike the enemy with as much skill and precision as possible, to end the conflict in one quick burst of action. And in so doing, to complete this strike not for the sake of glory or victory, not because you want to win a competition or a battle, but because it is necessary to do so in the first place, for self-preservation or to complete some necessary task. And as we've discussed in recent talks, this can also apply in situations of self-defense. Not initiating a struggle because it seems fun and you want to showcase your skills, but rather to perform the bare minimum needed to get to safety and move on. To do what needs to be done humbly and without an excess of boastfulness. The ability to attain victory without letting it get to your head. To have success in life, but to remain true to your nature. Passivity with the capability of quick action. Just like the nothingness before the universe. Empty with the potential for creativity. Too many words slowly chipping away at the true meaning of Tao that cannot be spoken by us mere mortals. But again, when one exerts force, weakness always follows. This is not the way of the Tao, so say its authors. And since this is not the way of the Tao, an early demise will follow, as it always does to something that attains strong maturity and grows old. Well, why would this be the case? Doesn't everything in nature thrive or flourish in a brief instant before getting old and fading away? Isn't that the one true thing that we as humans actually know about our existence? That we must die at the end after enjoying our brief time here? The kerfuffle here, for lack of a better term, lives precisely at this juncture. Who exactly is it that we refer to in ourselves that is the one growing into maturity, thriving for a brief moment, and fading back into obscurity at the end of it all? And I'll leave it at that with a question. Thanks for listening as always. Until next time.